Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching our CalFresh application tips video presented by the UC Berkeley Basic Needs Center CalFresh and Engagement and Outreach team. My name is Kaya, and I'll be presenting today with the lovely Kylie.
Everyone, in this video, we will be going through the key components of the CalFresh application on the BenefitsCal portal. And we know that the BenefitsCal application changes frequently and that the questions may vary case by case. We also recognize that many of these questions are not required, but they are super helpful for your CalFresh workers to know. So if you need additional assistance with your application, please schedule an appointment to meet with a Basic Needs Center CalFresh ambassador. And additionally, please feel free to have your CalFresh application ready and follow along. But note that this video will not go step by step through the application.
Thanks, Kylie. So essentially, CalFresh is a federally funded program that provides folks with money for groceries. There are 3 steps to the CalFresh application process. The first step is completing the application. The second step is submitting the required verification documents. And the third is completing the phone interview to ensure that your worker has needed information to process your application. You should receive a notice with your scheduled phone interview day and time, but also may be contacted by your worker over the phone. So that's why we encourage students to keep their phone nearby after submitting an application. And please note that your caseworker's number may show up from a 510 area code or be private. But before we begin the application, please complete the pre-screener, which can help you determine if you are likely eligible for CalFresh.
Awesome. Thank you, Kaya. So we recommend that you create a BenefitsCal account to track status updates regarding your case, upload any documents requested by your worker, and access e-notices. We typically encourage students to utilize their personal emails in this field in the event that they choose to maintain benefits after graduation and or lose access to their Berkeley email. And so just keep in mind that BenefitsCal will regularly ask you to change your password.
So after starting the application, the first required component of the BenefitsCal application is the section to enter your name. The 2 required sections are boxes in red on the screen here. And so please enter your name as it appears on your ID. If you have a lived name that is different from your legal name, please enter that information in the other names portion.
And regarding student status, students actively enrolled in classes at a trade school, college, or university should indicate this information on their application as seen on the screen in front of you.
Next, input your current address, including your apartment number if you have one. The county will send notices about your application to the address inputted, and if you are approved, you will receive your EBT card through the mail. You should also update your address as it changes. And if you can't receive mail safety at your current address, you can also choose to have your mail sent to another address. And if you are currently unhoused or don't have a place to receive mail, you can also ask the county to hold your notices. But also please note that you will need to visit the county office in person to pick up these notices. Then for contact information, input your phone number and email. The county will typically follow up on your application via a phone call.
Additionally, the application will include questions about gender, birth date, social security number, citizenship, and legal permanent resident status. So we strongly recommend that, if applicable, that you include your social security number, as it's used by the CalFresh office to make sure your application is not confused with anyone else's.
Now, moving on to the next section of citizenship status, you can input information regarding your current residency status. If you are not currently a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, but meet a different immigration status, you can list your document type in your application.
If you are not a U.S. citizen or a U.S. national, you can include information about your immigration status, including legal permanent residency status. On the next slide, we will have an expanded list of folks that may be eligible for CalFresh benefits.
And here is an expanded list of folks that may be eligible for CalFresh. Please feel free to pause and review this list.
So for CalFresh, the definition of household is who you usually buy and make the majority of your food with. Therefore, don't include roommates unless you buy and make more than half of your meals together. And applicants under the age of 22 who live with their parents will need to add their parents on their application. And if you are under 22 and you don't live with your parents, you can proceed without their information.
Now, if you are a student receiving a meal plan, you will need to indicate this on your application. If you receive more than 11 meal swipes per week, you may be considered ineligible for CalFresh, but are more than welcome to still apply nonetheless. Students who are living off campus and who have a meal plan might still be eligible as long as they meet other CalFresh requirements.
So to qualify as a student, there are special eligibility categories where students must qualify under at least one. If you select none of the above, you may be eligible for CalFresh, but you wouldn't qualify as a student. So I highly recommend that you select the choices that best represent your current situation. And so a few good questions to ask yourself would be, are you eligible or awarded work study? You aren't required to have a work study job, but as long as you're awarded these like work study awards, then you should be good to go. Are you working 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month? Are you not planning to be enrolled in school next term? Are you receiving a TANF-funded Cal Grant A or B? Or are you part of local programs that increase employability, or LPIE? And this is also listed as participating in a student employment training program. And so if you have questions on what programs are a part of that, please visit the link below to see the list. And if you are utilizing this category, you should input the name of the program you're currently enrolled in. And so some examples of programs that are on this list would be if you work any on-campus job regardless of your hours. Are you a student participating in College Corps? And there are also over 90 graduate programs part of this list.
And so moving forward, there is currently a waiver in place exempting people from having to meet the able-bodied adults without dependents, or ABAWD rule. This county is still required to collect this information for reporting purposes. But for now, folks applying to CalFresh do not need to meet the ABAWD rules.
So regarding employment, the following questions cover your employment status. And so while the money that you receive from a workstudy position is not considered countable income, you will still need to report your hourly wage. And if you are currently participating in a non-work-study job, even if it is an on-campus position, you would report your hourly salary, work information, and upload your pay stubs from the last month, or also past 30 days with your application. And regarding other sources of income, that refers to any income you received not through a job. And so, for example, if your parents help you pay for rent or other expenses every month, or if you are self-employed, then that would count as other sources of income. And finally, regarding reporting financial aid and work study, students can report information regarding their financial aid, if applicable, in the application. The current guidance is for students to report the total amount of aid received for the year. And if you're unsure of what your financial aid award will look like next year, feel free to select no. And if you are currently participating in a work study position, you can input the information regarding how much you are awarded per year.
And so continuing from the previous slide, the slide here goes into further detail upon selecting the choices within the income category. So students applying will be inputting their employment and or financial aid information as necessary, specifying further details about their current employment and financial aid.
So regarding housing expenses, the following question asks you about the expenses you pay every month. And you can select which choice best applies to the expenses you pay, or you can select none of these apply. Under rent payments, these payments may look different. So housing contracts and paying rent via mobile payments, such as Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, to the landlord/person receiving the payment are two other common methods of rent payments. And so only include the portion of rent that you pay. If you are on campus housing, then this would also apply to this section. And you would still need to put the full amount of rent, even if financial aid covers the rent amount for your on-campus housing. And again, on-campus housing looks like dorms, on-campus apartments, etc.
And so last, this portion covers the document upload that is required to process your CalFresh application. Documents typically include a form of identification, proof of income if you have a job, proof of housing, like a lease agreement or a rent transaction, and other, which covers all other miscellaneous items like your class schedule. There's also sworn statements, and sworn statements are letters that can be used to explain an attached photo or screenshot and can serve as proof of a situation. And so the statement should be followed up with a signature and date the statement was written. And upon submission, clients can upload the sworn statement under the other.
Yay! It looks like you're all done and you've made it to the summary page at this point. And so after completing all sections, you will be directed here to the summary page where you can review all the options and answers you have submitted. And then you are given an opportunity to edit any additional information.
And as you continue to proceed with the application, post-submission or during the submission, you are open to access these resources that are readily available for you if you need extra support with your CalFresh case. And so the slide here highlights three main types of support, including the Bay Area Legal Aid, also known as the BALA, CalFresh Open Hours, and the Alameda County of Social Services with respective locations and hours of operations.
So we also recognize that that was a lot of information to go through. And so we want to highlight that you are very, very welcome to fill out the Basic Needs Center Assistance Form if you need additional support in housing, financial aid, or food assistance. And so you can scan the QR code or type in the link. That's both are listed on the right side of the slide if you want to fill out the form. And again, we really hope this was helpful and we really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. So thank you again for tuning in. And one final thing is always feel free to reach out to the BNC for further support. And I really hope you have a nice day.